Okay, with respect to the agenda, we need to add a section F2 for the audit report. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then with that adjustment, I need approval for the agenda for the evening.
Make a motion.
And second? Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. In front of you are the minutes, executive board session from August 29th. Anyone have any questions or corrections?
We just have one correction that Councilman
DiCostanzo
is listed as present and
It was not.
and we'll make that adjustment.
Okay. Okay, other than that correction, any other questions? Then a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. At this time, we'll move to public comment session. Microphone right there. Please give your name and address in case you need to follow up with anything. Okay, not at this time. Move to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mrs. Kloss. Today at Harris Hill, it's my pleasure to introduce our principal, Sue Corey, and her students to be recognized from the Heroes program. Ms. Corey.
When Dr. Hicks mentioned that we were going to have each of the schools prepare something that our students are involved in at each of the different buildings, right away we thought about Heroes. And we thought, too, that many of the board members being newer to the board may not have had a chance to hear about our program. So I thought about a number of students that have been involved with our Heroes activities, and I asked them to join me. We sat down and we did some brainstorming, and we thought about what does Heroes mean to us? What is it? How is it part of our school? What are some of the things that we do with regards to Heroes? And they did some fantastic brainstorming. And so each of the pieces of information that they share with you today, they have actually written. These are not my words. These are the words that the children shared with me when we talked about what does Heroes mean to Harris Hill.
Welcome to Harris Hill Elementary, home of the Harris Hill Heroes. We wanted to take this opportunity to tell you about a special program at our school. This program is not found at any other elementary school in this area. It is Heroes.
Heroes stand for helping everyone respect others and self. About 28 years ago, a group of parents, teachers, and the principal, Mr. Gorgini, decided they wanted to help create something that would help students learn the importance of respect. They decided this program should also teach students about many other characteristics like responsibility, honesty, perseverance, and kindness.
Each year, we have a committee that meets to find ways to help the students learn to be the best they can be. We have assemblies, we have special art projects and activities.
Heroes is a way of life for us. It is included in many things we do. One of those things is our I Pledge. We will share that with you. I promise to the character worthy of trust. I will be responsible, doing what I must. I will always act with fairness. I will show that I care. I will be a good citizen and always do my share. We say this every Monday to remind us of how Harris Hill Heroes should be.
A few years ago, two teachers, Mrs. Bosworth and Mrs. Perry, decided they wanted to create a group of students who could demonstrate what it means to be kind. The Kindness Crew was born. We were all members of the Kindness Crew last year. The Kindness Crew is 12th, 4th, and 5th graders who meet after school with Mrs. Bosworth and Mrs. Perry. We plan different types of spirit activities and fun ways to raise funds for charity. There is a different worthy cause or charity we work for each year. This year we will be working with the city mission, or something called Mission Impossible. We can't wait to get started.
Last year, we worked hard to support the John O'Shea Foundation with the upcoming construction of the new Women's and Children's Hospital. We raised funds through Lucky Rainbows and Shamrocks, Oshai bracelets, and water bottles. In June, we held our favorite, the faculty and student kickball game. That is always a building favorite.
One of the other important things about the Heroes program is how it helps us in our classrooms. Poor behavior in some can lead to poor behavior in others. With Heroes, there are good role models. It becomes popular to be good. It also helps the younger students learn what is expected at school, as the older students model making good choices.
It's always a lot more fun when you come to school, when you know your classroom, the cafeteria, and the bus are nicer places to be.
This year, Mrs. Corey created a bus contract, ready to ride. Each student had to sign a contract that they understood the 3 bus rules. So did each parent. Our bus has been a much more chill place now.
As you came into the building tonight, you may have seen the bulletin board with all the Heroes buttons on it. Each year we have a contest. The students enter to create the new button design that will highlight the characteristics we are learning about the next year. This is the button design that we will have this year. It was designed by last year's first grader, Preston Ariznosi. We work hard as classes to earn Heroes points in our special classes and lunch to receive our buttons in June. We have something we would like to give you to take tonight that will remind you of Harris Hill, home of the Heroes. Thank you. I'm Riley Steele.
I'm Ava Massimino.
I'm Stacy Weinkoop.
I'm Camille May.
And I'm Caden Decker.
Very, very nice.
Do you have any questions for the children with regards to Heroes?
What grade level are all you in?
We're all in 5th.
5th grade?
Very nice.
Great job,
Thank you.
heroes.
Great
Thank you
job.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming and sharing about your Heroes program.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Dr. Hicks?
That concludes the superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a very good report. We'll turn over to finance.
There's not too much on the financial reports, scheduled bills. I thought I'll pass out a little bulleted sheet, and I'll go over that. It's a little update on the first couple weeks of school for transportation items. So every year, naturally, as most of you know, first couple weeks of school are always a little hectic. This year was no different as far as that goes. A couple of things that drove some of the issues. We did have a handful of vacant runs that we had to fill. And what that means is that as runs are filled, bus drivers bid on them. The ones that win the bid, then their runs are vacant, and it's a trickle-down effect. So it'll probably be another week or so before most of that flushes out. What that causes is a lot of bus runs with new people on them. So again, it just takes a little while to get used to the bus routes. We're trying to be much more efficient, and what we do is we oversubscribe the buses. And if you remember a few years ago, New York State allowed you to do that. So a 60-passenger bus may have 80 or 90 students assigned to it, knowing that actual ridership might be 40. Again, it takes those first couple of weeks until we know. We do ask parents. Many of them are great as far as, you don't have to come by my house. You know, Johnny's never going to ride. But most of the routes, it's not the driving by, but stopping and waiting. So that does need a couple weeks to flesh out. Certainly, we're trying to do everything we can. The middle school and high school are a little more problematic as far as morning arrival times. The elementary schools, you know, we get there at a certain time, and we could start as early as we need to, so we do get there on time. But then the short period of time from when you leave an elementary school at 8 o'clock or 8:05 to get to the secondary schools at 8:45 is that tight window. So that's some of the bugs that we're still working out. As of 9:15, when I wrote this, we did have only one high school bus that arrived at 8:49, which was 4 minutes past our target. And we did have 2 middle school buses, but both of them were brand new drivers. And it certainly seems like that will flesh itself out. A couple of the bugs that we are working out with our app have been worked out. That should be running very well now. Anybody who wants to sign on and see where your bus is and the time frame, it should work. If it doesn't, I'll give you the transportation supervisor's home phone number. No, but it is working now. One of the things that a lot of people didn't realize, 4 years ago we started combining high school and middle school runs. It doesn't work all throughout the district, but it certainly does help in the northern and eastern areas, where just to go around the block once is, you know, looks like a 3-mile trek. So it's worked pretty well. 4 years ago, John Weidman, who was at Akron, started to implement that. Akron is a single campus, and every bus is K-12. So it worked out well for us. We started with a few. Last year we had 7. This year we've got 11. So the more we can do it, number one, it's efficient, so it saves dollars in the long run. But also, everybody knows right now that we do have a bus driver shortage, and that's industry-wide, whether it's a public school district or a private contractor. So that is also helping that. Again, everything went pretty well. Some of the calls that we get are saying, you're pretty tight. What happens when the winter comes? Well, you know, when the winter comes, it might affect me driving my 16 miles to work, but the buses, you know, go 11 miles an hour anyway. So it doesn't affect them as much as you might think. Our bus drivers get to work early. They all punch in earlier in the winter. They're pre-trip. They make sure their bus is warm and up to snuff and ready to go. And they leave early to make sure they're at their first stop a couple minutes early, but for sure on time. So that is a behind the scenes. But pretty much we, throughout the years, realized that if we could run them pretty well once the end of September comes, the snow really doesn't affect it that much.
Very good.
Can I jump in on one quick thing, Rick? I spent the morning on Friday looking at our new transportation roundabout for the middle school. And actually, at that time, things were working pretty well. There was a backup on Griner Road for maybe 2-3 minutes out of that window, but parents have figured out the idea of dropping kids directly in front of the building. The buses are in the back, including the handicap buses. I wasn't there for dismissal. It's a little crazier at dismissal, but at least in the morning, after 2 weeks, things were working well at the middle school, and it is 1,000% safer. There's no doubt about that.
Great. Very good.
The next item that you added to the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just quick. You commented around the number of drivers and getting them up to speed in that. I know we had a target going in. I know it was going to be a challenge, but I mean, how many are we looking at right now to get to a comfortable zone?
You know, I would say that I know Dr. Patak has got a couple people in the hopper right now that transportation is putting through. And once those people get in, I would say we still could use bus drivers, but we're going to be within 1 or 2 runs by the end of September of having every run filled.
And then just the second question, general in nature. You commented about the challenges with is it Navistar, the software?
Oh, Versatrans.
Versatrain, here at the start of the year, but now we've had it in for a full year. Just overall reflection on the first year, how it went, and
I think it went real well. The GPS portion of the program is the glitzy piece. It's the kind of thing that you show people. But really what it's done for us is our breakdowns are 1/4 of what they were. And that's the goal of the program. It really sends signals to the computers at the bus garage when things need to be looked at as opposed to when they break. So that's a big plus for us right now. And it's working very well. Again, it was for the period of time that I had our head auto mechanic check, it's actually less than 1/4 the breakdowns. So,
Wow.
great, thank you.
so yes, the item you added to the agenda is the 2015-16 audit. Lumsden and McCormick, our external auditors, performed the audit, and John Chavone, the partner at Lumsden and McCormick CPAs, presented earlier this evening the audit to the audit committee. Everything is going well. We're in a strong financial position. We've got a solid fund balance, and moving forward, other than the anomalies with the New York State retirement system reporting that makes financial statements look a little more awkward from years past, where we have to show liabilities and overfunding of those systems. Everything on our financial statements look great. He had mentioned that there is no issues with staff that they interviewed, and he feels that there are no audit risk issues for the district. Solid financial position, virtually no comments other than being prospective and taking a look at some of the GASB and other accounting board requirements that are coming up in the next 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's worth noting that as soon as the board accepts the audit, we will post it to our website so that anyone in the community can take a look at it.
And those overfunding that you had recommended, that's based on the rate that comes from New York State. It's not our overfunding those things. I just want to put that out for clarification.
Right.
Those are the percentages that we are told
right.
to
We
fund
pay
that.
exactly what
what
New
we're
York State
instructed.
requires us to
Right.
pay.
Right. So, does anyone have any questions? Anybody that wasn't on the committee, and those that are on the committee are free to explain it in detail. No.
As Mr. Chavone mentioned, when you take a look at the audit tonight, you'll fall
Instead of-
asleep to the audit.
Yes. But we are in a good financial position with our fund balance. No issues or concerns that were brought to the attention from the auditors. I recommend that we approve the budget, the audit as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, second. Okay. All those in favor? Okay. Okay, personnel. Dr. Patak.
Thank you, Mrs. Kloss. You have a few items before you this evening, beginning with the resignation of a teacher. You have various appointments. Given that we added a new section at Ledgeview, we were able to return a teacher who was on the preferred eligible list to an unencumbered position, and therefore she was tenured in her previous employment with the school district. Also have the appointment of regular substitutes, part-time, appointment of mentors. Extracurricular-wise, we have for review this evening, appointment of coaches for the winter sports. In regard to the fall sports, we just had 2 corrections in the salaries that were bolded on the memo that you received, the same memo that you received last month. 2 additional activity advisors added to to the appointments that were made back in September. Summer work, a resolution for an employment agreement with the superintendent of schools, additions and deletions to the substitute teacher list.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on any of those sections? Okay, then I moved, motion to approve P1 through P5.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We just go back, Rick, I don't think we did a motion to approve F1.
Oh, right.
Okay, so a motion to approve F1,
So moved.
seconded?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm sorry, Dr. Patak,
That's okay.
non-instructional.
Non-instructional, you have one termination, a number of resignations, one for the purposes of retirement after 16 years of service to the district, various appointments, teacher aides, a clerk typist, and modifications to the substitute list.
Okay. Any questions or comments on P6 through P9? Okay, motion to approve? Seconded? Okay, those in favor? Okay. Special needs and student activities.
First, let me just back up and compliment Dr. Patak. We haven't had any shortages of subs so far this year, and he's done a great job with that. As far as the students with disabilities, this is the smallest month in terms of meetings. 14 for the Committee on Special Education, and most of those are transfer students coming from other districts. 7 for the Preschool Committee on Special Education, with no strange anomalies in any of those meetings.
So since the beginning of the school year, we've had how many special needs students move into the district that needed to
Yeah.
be?
I don't know off the top of my head, but
Yeah, I know.
more than we've had in prior years.
Okay, so those are one of those things that we need to make sure that we budget enough for
Right.
when we do develop the budget from year
Right.
to year. Okay.
And we're going to talk to the board when we get to executive session about another potential special ed issue regarding numbers of teachers in classes.
Okay, very good. Motion to approve,
So moved.
seconded?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Under board development, we have our annual New York State All-State Festival for band and orchestra students. They would leave on December 1st and come back on December 4th. The competition is in Rochester. There are parent and adult chaperones for this, and we're recommending to the board that you approve this music competition.
Any questions or concerns? Okay. Motion to approve, seconded?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We move to the second public comment session. Again, we ask, microphone is to my right, to please give your name, so in case we need to follow up with anything, we can. Okay, there being none, we'll move on to the information in front of you, or scheduled meetings. Our next regular meeting is October 17th, and at the end of October, we have the NYSBA convention, which is being held in Buffalo. Any other concerns or things to be brought to the meeting? Okay. Then we can have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Seconded? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll adjourn to executive session.